This is your captain speaking. Welcome aboard to Star World Space Lines Flight 10, where we're currently cruising at 37,000 feet. Winds are calm, and we should be arriving at our destination in under 5 hours. Oh wait! This isn't Prepared 3D. This is actually episode 10 of If My Heart Had Wings. Right now, Amane is giving a brief lecture on aerodynamics to Kotori and Aoi, and in the last episode, Amane went over the wings, and now we're going to be talking about the tailplanes, or what I call the stabilizers. So let's see what she has to say about it.
これらは空中で機体の姿勢を安定させるためについている。
Okay, so these are added to stabilize the position of the airplane when in midair. So she calls it the tailplane, but it's commonly referred to as the stabilizer.
飛行機は空中に浮いているから、地面に立つ我々よりもいつだって不安定なんだ。
So an airplane floats in midair, which is much more unstable than we humans are when staying on the ground.
まっすぐ上を向いてるのが垂直尾翼。横方向の動きを安定させる。
Okay, so this is the vertical stabilizer. So on this paper airplane, it's pointing downwards, but most airplanes, obviously the ones that you see, they point upwards. But either way, they kind of ensure that the airplane, so the vertical, the lateral movement. So I'm guessing it's probably between the roll or the yaw.
主翼と同じ向きに横に伸びているのが水平尾翼。
So the one extending out sideways, the same on the main wings, are the horizontal stabilizers. So these actually control the pitch of the airplane.
こっちは縦の動き。つまり頭の上げ下げを安定させてくれる。
So they stabilize the up and down movement of the nose. So she's talking about the pitch. So like basically the angle the airplane has with respect to the ground. So as you take off, or as the plane takes off, what the pilots do is they pull back on the control stick, or the side stick, and that controls the horizontal stabilizers to push the nose up. And in a sense, it causes the wings to be at a much larger angle, so it turns the flow downward at a much larger degree, and that in turn causes more lift to be generated on the wings, which is why pilots are pulling back on the control stick once they reach liftoff speed.
これがないと紙飛行機もまっすぐには飛んでくれない。
I see. So that's why they have small wings on the tail. And the horizontal stabilizers, they also help pilots, or gives pilots a tool to recover the aircraft in case of a stall. So when the pilots or the plane is pitched up too much, there's not enough flow to generate enough lift, and the flow starts to become disruptive. I'm not really sure the details why, because I'm not a true aerodynamics engineer, but I'm guessing it's probably because the flow starts to separate and you get a lot of drag. So what the stabilizers do in the back is that they can allow the pilots to change the pitch and correct it so that the wings or the flow stops being disrupted and ending the stall.
そしてボディ。
So she's not talking about the body.
ここは飛ぶこととは直接関係がないな。
Okay, so the body isn't really part of the flight controls. But if you don't have this, there's nowhere to attach the wings. And the body is obviously where you get the passengers, the cargo.
以上が飛行機の基本形。
So that's the basic form of the airplane.
これはずっと昔、ライト兄弟の時代から変わらない。
Since that long ago? But the Wright brothers were the first people in the world to fly airplane, right? So, in control or flight sense, obviously the airplane hasn't really changed much since the Wright brothers. But then, if I recall, the airplane, the tube design was pretty much modeled off of an eagle. So you have this really long body, you have the wings, you have the tail. So they basically took the eagle as an idea on how to build an airplane, or like how to build a proper airplane. But obviously the K-Hawk doesn't look anywhere like the shape of an eagle. So nothing has changed since the very first one was made.
ライト兄弟は動力を積んだ飛行機で飛んだ最初の人たちだ。グライダーはそれ以前から飛んでいたぞ。
So that's true. So there were gliders or like engineless airplanes before the Wright brothers. And I think Leonardo da Vinci actually tried to create a flying machine way in the early days. But while it was a pretty interesting design, there was no way anybody could have powered a flight. So obviously the design wasn't gonna work. Yeah, I guess so. I'm not really sure what the design that Da Vinci was trying to make. I always thought that the Wright brothers were the first to fly.
翼の役割を知りたければ、この紙飛行機で試してみるといい。
But of course, the Wright brothers, they were able to create the first successfully powered airplane. And I forgot how long the airplane had to fly to prove that it was a flying machine. That was also a pretty important point in history.
例えばそうだな、垂直尾翼を少し曲げて、それ。
Okay, so Amane's gonna modify the airplane, the paper airplane, by bending the vertical stabilizer. Okay, so the plane started flying in a curved pattern.
さらに主翼のここの部分を少し曲げれば。
So I think okay, so the airplane kind of twisted a little bit, so it was flying in a curved pattern because the vertical stabilizer is slightly tilted. And now she's gonna modify the wings. So she bent the left and right main wings so that they twisted at the back. So this time the plane twisted as it flew. Hey, that's pretty interesting. So I think she's trying to simulate the ailerons on the wings. Oh, I forgot about that. So when pilots control roll, the airplane actually changed the ailerons, and that's controlled by the foot pedals. And what it does is actually the foot pedals control the vertical stabilizer, the rudder on the back. But when pilots, they move the control stick left or right, that is what controls the ailerons. and that causes the airplane to roll to the left or roll to the right. And then if the pilots pull forward or push on the control stick, that controls the horizontal stabilizers. So then, I forgot the name of it. So seeing this, Kotori started to adjust the tailplane of her own paper airplane. Oh, take a look at this. Okay, so how did Kotori modify her paper airplane? Whoa!
Oh.
And impressed Amane in a sense. So it did a beautiful loop-to-loop before landing. That's cool. It did a loop-to-loop. Oh, it's interesting. So Kotori and I both got really engrossed in adjusting the wings and playing around. Sometimes the paper airplane displayed some mid-air aerobatics, and other times they didn't fly at all and crashed to the ground. However, by trying it for ourselves, we were able to get a real understanding of the roll of the wings. So by just changing the shape of the wings a little bit, you can make it fly in different ways.
実際の飛行機には補助翼などの小さな翼がついている。それらを調節することで機体を操作するんだ。
Okay, so she's actually talking about the ailerons itself. So the little control surfaces. So like in an actual wing, there's all these control surfaces that pilots can adjust with the throttle that I explained before, or the control stick. So as she explained, Amane moved to the side of the garage. So there, she lovingly laid her hands on the glider.
このグライダーにはエンジンはついていない。
So the glider does not have an engine, obviously.
紙飛行機を大きく頑丈にしてコックピットを取り付けただけのものなんだ。
So it's like a bigger and more robust paper airplane. The only thing that hasn't, that has been added is the cockpit. Well, basically a place where a passenger can sit in, or a pilot. So Kotori and I looked at the paper airplane in our hands. So I imagine riding in it and flying through the sky. This is just like the fantasies I envisioned as a child. So the glider in front of me was the real thing.
どうだ？作れそうな気がしてきただろ？
Oh, so you think you can make one, right? Or you felt like you could? But it doesn't have an engine, so how does it fly? Ah, so the question about how does this glider fly? It's big and heavy, it's much bigger than a paper airplane. And there has to be something that can push the airplane so that the wings can generate enough lift. Oh, so by the way, the horizontal stabilizer, the control surface is actually called the elevator. Just for some good knowledge idea. Just for some good knowledge. So paper airplanes gain thrust by being thrown by people. That's true.
風に乗って飛ぶんだ。
By riding the wind. So both Kotori and I gazed at the white aircraft. So that day when we saw this flying from Windmill Hill, riding the wind, the expression expresses it perfectly, the way it flew so smoothly and calmly.
風に乗って。
So you mean riding the wind? So Amane nods happily.
そして上昇気流に乗ってどこまでも舞い上がる。
So by riding the air currents, you can fly anywhere.
どこまでも？
Anywhere?
ああ、雲の上にだって行けるんだぞ。
Yeah, you can even go above the clouds. I'm pretty sure it's very windy up there.
雲の上？
So Kotori looked at the aircraft with an expression of disbelief. So I also couldn't imagine that this thing flying above the clouds. So have you been there? Above the clouds?
それがな。
Okay, so Amane is kind of losing her happiness. So she probably hasn't been up the clouds yet. Suddenly her mood drops.
組み上がったのがついこの間で、ようやくテストフライトにこぎつけたんだが。
So I put together recently and finally took it out on a test flight.
あの時だ。
Oh, so it was that time. So Kotori and I react to it by exchanging glances.
強度が足りなかったみたいで、途中で主翼が折れてしまった。
Ooh, that's really sad. So the wings weren't strong enough and it snapped. But at least she was able to make a safe landing. So you mean that
危ないところだった。もし完全に折れていたら湖に落ちて死んでいたかもな。
oh, so at least it was able to stay intact as she went in for a landing. So at least she was able to land this thing safely. Ah ha ha ha. She laughed as she spoke.
また作り直さないといけない。私は手先があまり器用じゃないからな。
So she's thinking that maybe her crafting skills is pretty bad and that's why she's not able to make strong enough wings.
それと一部のケーキが故障してるのも分かったんだが、代わりの部品が手に入らなくて困っている。
I know some of the instruments are broken, but I'm having trouble getting my hands on the parts.
自分で作っちゃえばいいんじゃないの？
Why don't you make them yourself? I don't think you can. Because I know instruments, they're quite delicate and they cost a lot of money to purchase. But luckily for a glider, I'm pretty sure it has analog instruments. Obviously, if you go inside a commercial jetliner like a 747 or even the newer jetliners like the Airbus A350, they contain all these glass displays the glass cockpit. So you have all these LCD displays with information on it.
そうもいかなくてな。
That's no good either. So Amane, with a troubled look at her face, took some broken parts from the drawer.
ダイヤフラムといって待機速度計に組み込まれている部品なんだが。
So the diaphragm is one of the parts used to make the airspeed controller. So I wonder if she's using broken parts that are...
特注品でこれを作った工場がとっくの昔に潰れてしまっているんだ。
So this was a special order and the factory where this was made shut down a long time ago. Oh, okay. So she has to use some old parts because the manufacturer closed and she's not able to get a replacement. So Kotori and I gaze at the parts in the palms of Amane's hands. It certainly looks as it won't be easy to handle or to make. So if you notice, some instruments, they can cost up to $300,000. Because they're delicate, they have to be very accurate and precise. And they have to be able to withstand all sorts of conditions. Because obviously when you're flying in the sky, the air pressure is going to drop tremendously. And this instrument needs to be able to work in all sorts of conditions. And if it's the kind of thing that can be made in the town factory, there might be something that can be done about it. So that's when the mind's like, oh, there's hope. Well, I don't know until I ask about it, but I know someone like that.
頼む。それがないと本当に困るんだ。
Well, then again, I kind of think that gliders don't have that strict of a restriction, because obviously the gauges also have to be able to not disrupt the electrical systems on the airplane. So they're tested to really high standards. They can't consume too much power and they can't spark. But either way, she's gonna try. She really wants someone to be able to fix all those instruments. And I always like, well, I think I know someone that can help you. And obviously, Amane lights up.
ありがとう。君に救われるのはこれで3度目だ。
So he's gonna take one of the parts, the broken parts that she has, and look around to see who's gonna fix it for her. What does he want now? What? Woo. Suddenly she gives me a full-on hug and we're even cheek to cheek. Hey, you can thank me once I actually get it fixed.
そういえばそうだったな。でもご飯のお礼も兼ねているんだ。
Oh, by the way, this also thank you for giving me another box of lunch.
だからもう一回感謝の気持ちを表させてくれ。
Well, that's enough, you know.
そうか。
And I'm not sure what's wrong, what's happening with Kotori. So Kotori was suddenly glancing at me. I wonder if this will really fly. Well, I'm pretty sure it will. I think it's just the structural problems, because probably there's too much lift that the wings can't handle, so the spar starts to crack. So Kotori and I both gazed at the glider with the same look on our faces.
ところで君たち
So, by the way, you two.
もしグライダーに興味があるのならその
So I wonder what she wants now. So before she could ask for something, the bell rings and it's time to go back to class. If we're interested, so what are you trying to say?
いやいいんだ忘れてくれ
So I wonder, why she's not gonna say it after the bell rings, even though I was gonna give her a few more seconds. Somehow it seems that she's avoiding something. Amane?
なんだ
What is it? So can I come and see you again then?
ああもちろんだ興味があるならいつでも来てくれ
Okay. So I have to bring those parts as well. So it's like the next time I see her, I have to make sure I can get these broken parts fixed.
君も
Oh, same thing with you. So I think she's talking to Kotori.
また見に来てくれ
Alright, come again. So as Kotori nods, Amane grins as she nods back. She's really beautiful, but her smile somehow makes her look like a little kid. Alright then, we shall go back to the classroom then. I'm not sure what Kotori's thinking about now. I started pushing. Oh, so he pushed Kotori's wheelchair and decided to start walking.
どこ連れて行く気
Hey, where are you taking me? Oh, the classroom, of course.
やだやめて私お腹空いてるのお昼食べてないから
I think she's just trying to find an excuse not to go to class. But then again, she had lunch and she used it to observe this flying machine. And kind of get away from Aoi. You mean... Oh, you reap what you sow.
やだってもう押さないで
Okay, but it's like but no cutting class. So I brought Kotori with me against her wishes and we returned to the classroom.
Aoi!
So someone's calling Aoi? So I went back to the dormitory and someone called out to me when I was at the gate.
Aoi.
Oh, Anchan. Oh, so he's Anchan. So when I saw who it was, my level of enthusiasm went up by 500%. Standing there was Anchan. I was thinking about going to see you tomorrow or somewhat.
お前に早く会いたくて仕事抜けてきちまった。
Oh, so he actually wanted to see Aoi as well, so I kind of took time off work to see you. Well, that's a really good reason to skip work.
久しぶりだな、葵。
Anchan ruffles my hair. Hey, stop that, will you? Will ya? Completely ignoring my attempts to resist, Anchan gives me a noogie, grinding my hair round and round. I think that my hair is probably messed up pretty badly now. So his actual name is Tatsuya Igarashi. And his nickname is Anchan. And he's also a childhood friend of Ageha and mine, and it's kind of like a big brother to us. Like this big support figure. He's much older than us, but we used to play together a lot as kids. Aw, geez, you're messing up my hair.
悪い。昔を思い出してついな。
Yeah, that's kind of true. So it kind of remembers him, and it kind of sees him as like the little boy that he was in the past. So you haven't changed either, Anchan. Still the same as before?
おいおい、それ褒め言葉じゃないぞ。
Aw, he's kind of sad. Oh, come on, it's not a compliment. Oh, isn't it?
そうさ。人は人どころに停滞してちゃいけない。変わっていくもんだ。
Okay, yeah, that's true. So people change over time. What Anchan says is true, but to me, I'd rather Anchan just stays the same as he is now. I think Aoi kind of misses the old times. As I think about that, Anchan all of a sudden has a kind look on his face.
足、もういいのか?
Well, is your leg okay now? Yeah, well, enough for everyday life.
そうか。大変だったな。
So I wonder, so I kind of feel that the leg was what caused Aoi to end up having to give up his dreams of being in sports or becoming a sports star. Because the school that he came from was a sports school teaching students to become athletes. Yeah, it's not such a big deal. I can have a normal life like this. On top of that, I had you there to watch me in the race where I tried the hardest.
あれはいいレースだったな。表彰台に乗ったお前、かっこよかったぞ。
So what race is he talking about? And he came third. Oh, so it was cycling racing. So like, who rides the bicycle the fastest? In the final race of the first grade, I was able to take third place on the podium. And that was my best result. For that race, Anchan traveled a long way to come and watch me.
3位でも立派だ。
Yeah. So because of Anchan's kindness, I felt a little tearful. Because I think Anchan gave him the encouragement to keep going in the bike race. And obviously at the end, he was able to get third place, which I'm not sure how how many competitors were there, but the question is pretty good. He sensed how I was feeling and started to mess my hair again. This time, it wasn't so rough.
今はここの寮母をやってるんだってな。
And he also knows that I always the dorm mother of this flying fish dormitory. Yeah.
飛び魚そうか。懐かしいな。
So what kind of memories does he have about this place? Oh, so we used to play here a lot. We would come sneaking in.
ああ、そうだったな。
Oh yeah, that's right. So what's wrong? That wasn't what Anchan was talking about just now.
ところで、あの子もここの寮生か？
So I think he's talking about that person. I think I'm not sure which one it is. So something or someone's hiding in the shadow of the gate. So I wonder if Kotori knows him as well. Kotori? It looked like she couldn't get past because Anchan and I were in the way. And she could have just spoke to us normally, but instead she was hiding and watching us.
こんにちは、お嬢さん。
Oh, hello there. So he notices Kotori.
こんにちは。
So Kotori was still being cautious, but returned the greeting. So there, we got out of the way and then went into composed mode and entered the dormitory.
あの子、ここの子だったのか。
Oh, so that girl lives here. So Kotori is able to enter the dormitory now. You know her?
ああ、時々街で見かける。
So she goes in places from time to time.
うちの工場の近くにでかい犬がいるだろう。
So there's a big dog near my factory, you know. A pedigree? There's a big dog that goes by that name. I'm sure it was a Saint Bernard.
昨日はペディグリーの近くをうろうろしてたな。
So he's talking about this big dog. He's a Saint Bernard type, and his name is Pedigree. So was she by any chance trying to stroke its head, or his head?
ああ、そんな感じだった。食い物をあげたりしてたんだが、あの犬、飼い主の餌以外食べないからな。
Oh, okay. As I thought. So that was in the things I want to do list. So that time when Ayo was secretly observing Kotori as she was eating this big bucket of ice cream, and then she took out a list and was checking things off, like go to Windmill Hill, eat a bucket of ice cream, and there were some other things on there, and one of them must have been be able to pat Pedigree's head or give him something to eat. Oh, so it actually says, stroke the head of the big dog in the neighborhood. Well, it's really scary, but it might be unexpectedly friendly. If possible, I like to ride around on its back. So she was skipping school to go and do things like that. I wonder where the submission of withdrawing from school comes in. Well, I'll forget about Kotori for now.
とにかくおかえり、葵。
Okay, well, anyways, welcome back. Yeah, it's good to be back, Anchan. I seemed a little bit embarrassed as I answered and Anchan grinned at me.
困ったことがあったら遠慮なく頼れ。俺はお前らのアンちゃんなんだからな。
After all, I'm still your Anchan, I'm still your big bro, so if you have anything wrong, just come and talk to me. So parted with those words, Anchan turned to leave. Oh yeah, that's right, Anchan. So what else does he have or does he want to say? I know it's a bit soon, but I have a favor to ask. Okay, so he shows Anchan or Tatsuya the parts that he got from Amane about the glider. Along with it, it was a memo with the dimensions and so on written down. I need some parts the same as these. Will we be able to get one? Anchan's family runs a factory. So maybe he can make a spare part for Amane. It's known as the town factory and it seems they manufacture special order made parts. Okay, so it kind of makes sense. Anchan works there right now. If Anchan can't do it, then he might be able to use his connections with other engineers to introduce me to other factories. So Anchan looks at the broken parts and then the memo. Okay, it looks like he might be able to do it. He quickly answers. So I'll contact you once more if I can get my hands on it. Thanks, Anchan. So Anchan raised one hand and turned to leave. Okay, so I'll stop here. So we had a pretty nice talk with Tatsuya, or the big bro of the group that Aoi was in the past. And it looks like Aoi was able to get some help with the broken diaphragm for Amane's glider. So the problem was that this is a special order part and it used to be available, but then the factory shut down and Amane is not able to get or find a source for a replacement. It looks like Anchan and his connections, they might be able to get something that's equally as good as the old part. But we'll have to see more about what happens with Kotori as well. Because you see that she's interested in the glider and flight, but not in the classes. And I'm not really sure what that list has, or I'm not really sure what importance the list has. But I guess we'll find out about that as well. So next episode, we're gonna see if Amane is able to get all those parts fixed, and hopefully maybe go for another test flight. So with that in mind, I'll see you in the next episode.